Spinosaurus and Spinosaurus, lit. Spine lizard, is a genus of spinosaurid dinosaur that lived in what now is North Africa during the Cenomanian to Upper Turonian stages of the late Cretaceous period, about 100 to 93.5 million years ago. The genus was known first from Egyptian remains discovered in 1912 and described by German paleontologist Ernst Stromer in 1915. The original remains were destroyed in World War II, but additional material came to light in the early 21st century. It is unclear whether one or two species are represented in the fossils reported in the scientific literature. The best-known species is S. aegyptiacus from Egypt, although a potential second species, S. maroccanus, has been recovered from Morocco. The contemporary spinosaurid genus Sigilmassosaurus has also been synonymized by some authors with S. aegyptiacus, though other researchers propose it to be a distinct taxon. Another possible junior synonym is Oxalia from the Alcantara Formation in Brazil. Spinosaurus is the longest known terrestrial carnivore. Other large carnivores comparable to Spinosaurus include theropods such as Tyrannosaurus, Giganotosaurus, and Carcharodontosaurus. The most recent study suggests that previous body size estimates are overestimated and that S. aegyptiacus reached 14 meters, 46 ft in length and 7.4 metric tons, 8.2 short tons, in body mass. The skull of Spinosaurus was long, low, and narrow, similar to that of a modern crocodilian, and bore straight conical teeth with no serrations. It would have had large, robust forelimbs bearing three-fingered hands, with an enlarged claw on the first digit. The distinctive neural spines of Spinosaurus, which were long extensions of the vertebrae, or backbones, grew to at least 1.65 meters, 5.44 ft long, and were likely to have had skin connecting them, forming a sail-like structure, although some authors have suggested that the spines were covered in fat and formed a hump. The hip bones of Spinosaurus were reduced, and the legs were very short in proportion to the body. Its long and narrow tail was deepened by tall, thin neural spines and elongated chevrons, forming a flexible fin or paddle-like structure. Spinosaurus is known to have eaten fish, and most scientists believe that it hunted both terrestrial and aquatic prey. Evidence suggests that it was semi-aquatic. How capable it was of swimming has been strongly contested. Spinosaurus's leg bones had osteosclerosis, high bone density, allowing for better buoyancy control. Multiple functions have been put forward for the dorsal sail, including thermoregulation and display, either to intimidate rivals or attract mates. It lived in a humid environment of tidal flats and mangrove forests alongside many other dinosaurs, as well as fish, crocodilomorphs, lizards, turtles, pterosaurs, and plesiosaurs. Since its discovery, Spinosaurus has been a contender for the largest theropod dinosaur. Both Friedrich von Huene in 1926 and Donald F. Glut in 1982 listed it as among the most massive theropods in their surveys, at 15 meters, 49 ft in length, and upwards of 6 metric tons, 6.6 short tons, in weight. In 1988, Gregory S. Paul also listed it as the longest theropod at 15 meters, 49 ft, but gave a lower mass estimate of 4 metric tons, 4.4 short tons. In 2005, Dal Sasso and colleagues assumed that Spinosaurus and the Spinosaurid Suchomimus had the same body proportions in relation to their skull lengths, and thereby calculated that Spinosaurus was 16 to 18 meters, 52 to 59 ft in length, and 7 to 9 metric tons, 7.7 to 9.9 short tons, in weight. The estimates were criticized because the skull length estimate was uncertain and, assuming that body mass increases as the cube of body length, scaling Suchomimus, which was 11 meters, 36 ft long, and 3.8 metric tons, 4.2 short tons, in mass, to the range of estimated lengths of Spinosaurus, would produce an estimated body mass of 11.7 to 16.7 metric tons, 12.9 to 18.4 short tons. François Terrien and Donald Henderson, in a 2007 paper using scaling based on skull length, challenged previous estimates of the size of Spinosaurus, finding the length too great and the weight too small. Based on estimated skull lengths of 1.5 to 1.75 meters, 4.9 to 5.7 ft, their estimates include a body length of 12.6 to 14.3 meters, 41 to 47 ft, and a body mass of 12 to 20.9 metric tons, 13.2 to 23.0 short tons. The lower estimates for Spinosaurus would imply that the animal was shorter and lighter than Carcharodontosaurus and Giganotosaurus. The Therian and Henderson study has been criticized for the choice of theropods used for comparison, e.g., most of the theropods used to set the initial equations were tyrannosaurids and carnosaurs, which have a different build than spinosaurids, and for the assumption that the Spinosaurus skull could be as little as 1.5 meters, 4.9 ft, in length. In 2014, Ibrahim and his colleagues suggested that Spinosaurus aegyptiacus could reach over 15 meters, 49 ft, in length. In 2022, however, Paul Sereno and his colleagues suggested that Spinosaurus aegyptiacus reached a maximum body length of 14 meters, 46 ft, and a maximum body mass of 7.4 metric tons, 8.2 short tons, by constructing a CT-based 3D skeletal model with the axial column in neutral pose. They argued that the 2D graphical reconstruction of the aquatic hypothesis by Ibrahim and his colleagues in 2020 overestimated the pre-sacral column length by 10%, ribcage depth by 25%, and forelimb length by 30% over dimensions based on CT-scanned fossils. These proportional overestimates shift the center of mass anteriorly when translated to a flesh model, and thus the estimate from Ibrahim and his colleagues cannot be considered a reliable body size estimate. Its skull had a narrow snout filled with straight conical teeth that lacked serrations. There were 6 or 7 teeth on each side of the very front of the upper jaw, in the premaxillae, and another 12 in both maxillae behind them. The second and third teeth on each side were noticeably larger than the rest of the teeth in the premaxilla, creating a space between them and the large teeth in the front of the maxilla. Large teeth in the lower jaw faced this space. The very tip of the snout holding those few large front teeth was expanded, and a small crest was present in front of the eyes. Using the dimensions of 3 specimens known as MSNM V4047, UCPC2, and BSP 1912-819, and assuming that the postorbital part of the skull of MSNM V047 had a shape similar to the postorbital part of the skull of Irritator, Dal Sasso and colleagues, 2005, estimated that the skull of Spinosaurus was 1.75 meters, 5.7 ft long. But more recent estimates suggest a length of 1.6 to 1.68 meters, 5.2, 5.5 ft. The Dal Sasso and colleagues' skull length estimate is questioned because skull shapes can vary across spinosaurid species and because MSNM V4047 may not belong to Spinosaurus itself. The function of the dinosaur's sail or hump is uncertain. Scientists have proposed several hypotheses, including heat regulation and display. In addition, such a prominent feature on its back could make it appear even larger than it was, intimidating other animals. The structure may have been used for thermoregulation. If the structure contained abundant blood vessels, the animal could have used the sail's large surface area to absorb heat. This would imply that the animal was only partly warm-blooded at best and lived in climates where nighttime temperatures were cool or low and the sky usually not cloudy. It is also possible that the structure was used to radiate excess heat from the body rather than to collect it. Large animals, due to the relatively small ratio of surface area of their body compared to the overall volume, Haldane's principle, face far greater problems of dissipating excess heat at higher temperatures than gaining it at lower. Sails of large dinosaurs added considerably to the skin area of their bodies with minimum increase of volume. Furthermore, if the sail was turned away from the sun or positioned at a 90-degree angle towards a cooling wind, the animal would quite effectively cool itself in the warm climate of Cretaceous Africa. However, Bailey, 1997, was of the opinion that a sail could have absorbed more heat than it radiated. Bailey proposed instead that Spinosaurus and other dinosaurs with long neural spines had fatty humps on their backs for energy storage, insulation, and shielding from heat. Many elaborate body structures of modern-day animals serve to attract members of the opposite sex during mating. It is possible that the sail of Spinosaurus was used for courtship in a way similar to a peacock's tail. Stromer speculated that the size of the neural spines may have differed between males and females. It is unclear whether Spinosaurus was primarily a terrestrial predator or a piscivore, as indicated by its elongated jaws, conical teeth, and raised nostrils. The hypothesis of spinosaurs as specialized fish-eaters has been suggested before by A.J. Charig and A.C. Milner for baryonyx. They base this on the anatomical similarity with crocodilians and the presence of digestive acid-etched fish scales in the ribcage of the type specimen. Large fish are known from the faunas containing other spinosaurids, including the Morsonia, in the mid-Cretaceous of northern Africa and Brazil. Direct evidence for spinosaur diet comes from related European and South American taxa. Baryonyx was found with fish scales and bones from juvenile iguanodon in its stomach, while a tooth embedded in a South American pterosaur bone suggests that spinosaurs occasionally preyed on pterosaurs. But Spinosaurus was likely to have been a generalized and opportunistic predator, possibly a Cretaceous equivalent of large grizzly bears, being biased toward fishing, though it undoubtedly scavenged and took many. The environment inhabited by Spinosaurus is only partially understood and covers a great deal of what is now northern Africa. The region of Africa Spinosaurus is preserved in dates from 112 to 93.5 million years ago. Although a potential specimen has been found in Campanian deposits. A 1996 study concluded from Moroccan fossils that Spinosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, and Deltadromeus ranged across North Africa during the late Cretaceous, Cenomanian. Those Spinosaurus that lived in the Bahariya formation of what is now Egypt may have contended with shoreline conditions on tidal flats and channels, living in mangrove forests alongside similarly large dinosaurian predators Bahariasaurus and Carcharodontosaurus, the titanosaur sauropods Paralititan and Egyptosaurus, crocodilomorphs, bony and cartilaginous fish, turtles, lizards, and plesiosaurs. In the dry season, it might have resorted to preying on pterosaurs. This situation resembles that in the late Jurassic Morrison Formation of North America, which boasts up to 5 theropod genera over 1 metric ton, 1.1 short tons in weight, as well as several smaller genera, Henderson 1998, Holtz and colleagues 2004. Differences in head shape and body size among the large North African theropods may have been enough to allow niche partitioning as seen among the many different predator species found today in the African savanna, Farlow and Pianka 2002. Spinosaurus appeared in the 2001 film Jurassic Park 3, replacing Tyrannosaurus as the main antagonist. The film's consulting paleontologist John R. Horner was quoted as saying, "If we base the ferocious factor on the length of the animal, there was nothing that ever lived on this planet that could match this creature, Spinosaurus." Also, my hypothesis is that T-Rex was actually a scavenger rather than a killer. Spinosaurus was really the predatory animal. He has since retracted the statement about T-Rex being a scavenger. In the film, Spinosaurus was portrayed as larger and more powerful than Tyrannosaurus. In a scene depicting a battle between the two resurrected predators, Spinosaurus emerges victorious by snapping the Tyrannosaurus's neck. In the fourth film, Jurassic World, there is a nod to this fight where the T-Rex smashes through the skeleton of a Spinosaurus in the climactic fight near the end of the film. The Spinosaurus would appear in many Jurassic Park games, most notably Jurassic World Evolution and its sequel. The same Spinosaurus from the third film returns in the fourth and fifth season of Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, this time battling 2 T-Rex. Spinosaurus has long been depicted in popular books about dinosaurs, although only recently has there been enough information about spinosaurids for an accurate depiction. After an influential 1955 skeletal reconstruction by Leparent and Lavocat, based on a 1936 diagram by Stromer, it has been treated as a generalized upright theropod, with a skull similar to that of other large theropods and a sail on its back, even having 4-fingered hands. In addition to films, action figures, video games, and books, Spinosaurus has been depicted on postage stamps from countries such as Angola, the Gambia, and Tanzania. Spinosaurus was longer than T-Rex, measuring about 15 to 18 meters, while T-Rex was about 12 meters long. T-Rex was heavier than Spinosaurus, weighing about 11,000 to 15,000 pounds, while Spinosaurus weighed about 7,000 to 31,000 pounds. T-Rex had a stronger bite force than Spinosaurus, with 57,000 N and 50-60 serrated teeth, while Spinosaurus had 19,000 N and 64 straight teeth. T-Rex had a better sense of smell than Spinosaurus, but Spinosaurus had a better vision and hearing. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos.